Hello, everybody. Today I want to talk about fear. Now, I know that's not really a happy subject for some people, but I want to give you some encouragement today. Now, the scripture that I'm focusing on today is Isaiah 41:10, and it says, "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. Yes, I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." Now, a lot of times we tend to focus on the do not fear part of that verse. And, as I was scrolling through Instagram last night, I came across this reel or video from Sadie Robertson Huff. Some of you may have heard of her. And it really struck me, and I wanted to kind of share with you the gist of what she was saying. Basically, she was saying that a lot of people, and she was included, and of course I'm included in this too, we tend to focus on the do not fear part of that verse. Do not fear. And God doesn't just leave us with that command. That's not everything that verse says. That verse doesn't just tell us to not be afraid. And, we tend to try to muster up the strength to not be afraid in and of ourselves. And I'm definitely totally 100% guilty of that. I can get in a situation, and when fear starts to rise or I start to question what's happening, I try to get in my own head and be like, listen, you're not going to be afraid. It's fine. It's fine. We're not going to be afraid. And that doesn't always work, because our strength, it fails. Our strength fails a lot. But the good thing about this verse, about Isaiah 41:10, is that it doesn't just end there. It's not just a command to not be afraid. There's a promise on that. It's do not be afraid, for I am with you. God promises that He's going to be with us. Always. He's always with us. He promises that right in this verse. Do not be afraid, for I am with you. Not, I might be with you, or if I'm not busy with something else, I'll show up, or if I just didn't decide to hang out with someone else today, I'll be with you. No, He says, I am with you. And that's the promise that we really need to lean on, because once we realize that, once we get that and it clicks, the do not be afraid part is easy. It just happens, because once it clicks that God is with you, always with you, you get that peace, that unexplainable peace that just covers you and takes over your life and takes over your heart and your mind. Not saying that you'll never struggle, but when you remember that, bring that to remembrance that God is with you, then you don't have to be afraid. And you know that you don't have to be afraid, and it's easier to not be afraid. And it also goes on to say, do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. Yes, I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. So He's not telling us that we have to do it on our own. He's not saying that we ever have to do it on our own. And we really shouldn't even try to do it on our own. Now, like I said, I'm guilty of that. Like, definitely guilty of that, like 100%. But when I remember that He is with me, and He is my God, I remember His promise that He will help me. He will strengthen me. He will always help me. He will always strengthen me. And He will always uphold me with His righteous right hand. He doesn't just hold me in hands like mine, because my hands fail, because I am flesh. My hands are flesh. And I am spirit, of course, in flesh. But my hands, they are flesh, and they fail. They fail many times. But God's hand is righteous. So when he says that he will uphold me with his hands, I know that he's never going to let go. So that is what we need to lean on today. If you get yourself in a situation or find yourself in a situation where fear is trying to creep in, or anxiety, worry, anything like that is trying to creep in, remind yourself that you don't have to be afraid, because God is with you. He is strengthening you. He is upholding you with his righteous right hand. Remember that today, and I hope that you have a great day.